Hello everyone and welcome to 5 Pints In, the show where we are literally 5 pints in.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm here with my two boys, Geordie and Connor.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Right, I think first topic is them V.A.Rseholes again,
Yeah.
wasn't they? On the Saturday.
V.A.Rseholes, yeah.
On the Saturday, the buttocks were clenched very tightly. There wasn't even a silent vart slipped out. And then they ended up with diarrhea on the Sunday.
That was a nice way to kick off the show. This will be memorable. Yeah, I mean, I think the VAR room must have been empty. I don't know where they were, but it's a weird one to not get a controversy on a whole game day, you know?
After last week?
Yeah.
When that's all we seemed to talk about.
Yeah.
We couldn't get off the subject.
Well, I think this will be a topic for the whole rest of the season, really, because, I mean, they're not going to get it right. And, I mean, in my opinion, if you change it halfway through the season, you're technically messing with the fabric of what happened in the beginning of the season, aren't you?
Yeah, I think if it's bad now, wait till it gets to the nitty-gritty of the last games in the relegation fight.
Yeah.
And it's going to cost someone their life, you know? Premiership lives.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you say keep it the way it is?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I mean...
you're saying it's unfair to the beginning of the...
Yeah, I just think it's... I mean, it's...
But what about what Charlie Austin said, where he said, if we have the technology, just... Because it's going to affect games greater.
I just think they're going to... I think they're going to get scared. Honestly, I don't know. It's such a mess. I really don't know what they should do. But, you know what I mean? So if you change it now, if you change the rules of how it's used now, or you change how it's used now, then... I mean... They've got
to see it out to the end of the season the way it is.
Yeah.
I think that's
a total cock-up.
Yeah.
Nah.
That's what it is.
Then you're just trashing the whole season. Then the rest of the season is going to be like...
I also don't understand how you can have it in the FA Cup and the League Cup games. You have it in one leg or in one stadium because the Premier League stadiums have it, and then in the lower leagues you just don't have it. So that part of the competition is just it's going to be different.
Did you say League Cup? Then you mean the Man City Cup?
The Man City Cup, yeah. Exactly.
You could argue the same thing about when we had the goal line technology, and I believe it was the World Cup. Or it might have been the Euros that they didn't use it, and they still wanted to use extra official when we've been using the goal line technology all season. The Euro.
The Champions League will late on goal line technology.
I think it was Champions League.
Yeah.
Okay. I know it was a big tournament that they just didn't want to risk it.
Well, okay. Let's get this out then. We'll get it out now. The decision against Everton cost Everton the result against Man United.
Absolutely.
The amount of people I've heard speaking about it, it's still confusing.
I know.
Was he in the keeper's line of sight? Obviously not, because De Gea was going to his right where the initial shot was going. So
exactly,
his line of sight wasn't blocked.
I mean, he's obviously seen the shot come off because, you know, he's dove that way, hasn't he?
He's still going to his right as the ball's gone in the net. So there was no hindrance from Sigurdsson.
Well, he knew it changed direction because he didn't actually dive. You know, he didn't fully commit to that side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because he's a sharp keeper.
But he was never getting back the other way.
Exactly. Yeah, but he knew it changed direction.
And for me, look, I honestly believe there's a petulance that's crept into the game now.
Yeah.
Referees, I don't know, they act like school teachers to me and treat players and managers like they're in the playground. It's disrespectful.
Yeah.
And you watch with Ancelotti after the game, it seemed to me he wasn't raising his voice, he wasn't pointing fingers, he wasn't in anyone's face really. He's looking for answers, which we all are. And then the ref's pointing to the tunnel, telling him to get in like a little boy.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well, it's a power trip, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what it is, yeah. They're on a power trip.
Okay, but what about you see rugby referees, they literally treat the players like the students. But the rugby players give the ref a lot more respect.
Yeah, that's what they have.
That's credibility, and which none of the referees in football have.
Yeah, what other sport acts like this though?
Yeah.
What other sport would you get things like this happening? You don't.
It has the most money in it, so
you
it's
don't
going to have the most.
So it's okay. Well, talking about the petulance in the game, I mean, it really does my head in. To be honest with you, you've got all sorts of things going on this weekend. Two of probably the stupidest yellow cards that I've seen in a long time. The boy Scalotto at Brighton.
Yeah.
He's not even on the pitch. He's warming up, and he's getting
It's
involved
Zaha.
with Wilf Zaha.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you've seen Wilf Zaha spit, but I don't believe he spat at the player. I think he spat, because the fans were having a go, and I think it was just a gesture, really. And then Scalotto's booted the ball at him. Then he's pulling faces on the touchline, and he actually gets booked. He gets yellow carded, and this is in the first half. Now, there's no way that manager's putting him on the field.
No.
He's going to be up on the right side against Zaha on the wide left. and he's already on a yellow card.
Yeah, that's weird.
And they've had a little go at each other already. So it's pathetic for me.
Yeah.
That he's got involved and he's done all that. But to me, the game's gone like that. It's gone with that petulance now, and I can't deal with it. The other one was Sidibe against United, right? He's gone crashing into the boards.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it, but he's gone crashing into the boards. Looked like he was dead.
Oh yeah.
And then he sprints back onto the field like there's nothing wrong after he's been off for maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah.
He doesn't get permission off the ref to come on. Just the physio said I could come on. It's fine. And then he gets yellow carded for that.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I mean, it's like the refs don't know what to do in those situations, you know. And then I mean, it's like the cops over here in America, you know, they don't know what to do in the situations, so they just pull their gun out.
It's
pull
you want the refs to carry guns now.
Yeah, I think that's the way we need to go.
But it's okay. Just so on a petulant side of thing, what are your pet peeves about the game today? I mean, I get called an old fart and an old donkey if I complain about the game today because it's obviously evolved and we've talked about that. I mean, I'd like people to write in, you know, or ask us the question or find out what their pet peeves are.
Yeah.
For me, gloves and short sleeve shirts doesn't make sense.
Aguero, Otamendi.
Does my head in.
Yeah.
It really does. People taking corners and the linesman has to literally stand over the ball to see if it's broke the plane of the line.
Yeah.
What is the point of it? It's absolutely so frustrating for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you have any that spring to mind right now.
I do, yeah. De La Feo's tights.
Oh, it's tights, yeah. Mate, the worst thing, I've never seen anything like that when I think he was at Old Trafford.
Yeah, yeah.
And he had to cut them off.
I know, yeah.
I don't know whether he's messed in them or what. It's come to the touchline, be off the field at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
To cut me tights off.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what comes to mind for me. I mean, if you're listening, you can email us in actually at 5pintsin@gmail.com and let us know, or you can we'll have our Twitter page up and running pretty soon, and we'll be able to answer your questions on there. If you've got any questions for Ian or us, you know, we'll be happy to go through them.
Right.
But yeah, what about you, Connor? Anything that
there's too much. There's I mean, you can argue with it being refs because they have authority. Like the whole thing with diving, like the sheer fact that they don't know what diving is, they ruin the game because they've let other people like fool them, you know.
But they've been given a tool, and for one reason or another, they're not using the TV on the side of the screen.
But for me also, I think the integrity's gone out the game.
Yeah.
I think players cheating and thinking nothing of it, falling down, disrespecting each other, disrespecting referees, disrespecting each other.
Yeah.
You know, it's maybe almost no surprise that the refs want that power trip.
Right.
You know, they're out there telling these multimillionaires what to do.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
So for me, it's like
it's become artificial.
Yeah, they're falling down. I listened to somebody at the weekend saying, some of the commentators even, maybe I'm wrong, but talking about Jack Grealish. The biggest surprise for me over that weekend was it took him 5 whole minutes to hit the floor.
Yeah.
And then 27 for his first dive. You know, he assumed his normal position after 5, which was lying down.
Yeah.
Albeit, I think that was a decent enough challenge where he got knocked down, you know. Another thing is when players are hurt, or are they really hurt, when they sit down like a yard from the touchline.
Yeah.
And they're intending to stop the game because obviously they don't want to walk off and leave the team with 10 men.
Right.
But the ref stops the game for them anyway.
What about when they go one further though and they're tackled off the pitch and they roll back on? I've seen that a few times.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last one of them.
No. Nothing springs to mind specifically, but yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, they make it tactical. Tactical to cheat.
Yeah. Yeah, and I heard some commentators calling them clever or cute.
That's what. Yeah, I hate
or
that.
Smart.
Well, I hate that with a smart dive. That's something that they use. That it would have been smart to go down there, and he would have got a penalty. Like,
yeah, but then they complain about the cheating.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'll tell you another thing I hate: players and managers complaining when other players do it to their team, and then 2 minutes later they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And then the manager's screaming for a foul or a handball or whatever. I'll tell you what, everything's coming out now. When they go to block across and put their hands behind the back.
Yeah.
You know what? If somebody knocks it by you, there's no way you're getting there as quick as he is if you're not using your arms. Your arms are behind your back.
No balance, yeah.
Well, we could do that all day. What about the handball rules in opposing boxes?
Right.
For an attacker, the goal doesn't get counted, and for a defender, a penalty doesn't always get given.
Yeah, same thing with protecting the keeper.
I mean, it was like De Bruyne the other week, and I don't ever like talking bad about De Bruyne,
So don't.
But he's put his hands up in the wall and he's handballed it, hasn't he? He's put his hands on his face against Leicester.
But apparently, if it's going to your head, it's okay.
No,
that takes me to that point that you said about, the games are supposed to be stopped with a head injury. Now it's for your bollocks for anything.
Also, how many times have you seen players get hit in the head with a ball and go down after like
I don't understand that. I've never understood that. I think Theo Walcott went off after 3 minutes.
Yeah, he did.
Against City.
Yeah, it was against City.
And Sterling doesn't actually whip the hardest crosses in, does he?
It was a left foot.
3 minutes into the game, and he's gone off the field. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Well, anyway, positive stuff now. All good football. We spoke last week about West Ham's performance at Man City.
Yeah.
Very negative, defensive. You're never going to do good things or succeed if you're too scared of failing.
Right.
And doing the wrong thing.
You need to take a risk.
And we said about goal difference, which, funny enough, I said don't be worried about goal difference, but Watford have just come out of the bottom three on goal difference, better than Bournemouth, and sent Bournemouth into there. So, for me, West Ham and the way they changed completely from the City performance to going out and having the right go at Liverpool. Taking the lead, Fornals, who I haven't been overly impressed with, to be honest, but he's got his goal at Anfield, and he's ended up with 2 assists this Saturday, which we'll get into a little bit later when we get there. But just that fighting spirit that they showed. I mean, unfortunate Fabianski, I had some nugget in the week on Twitter, a Liverpool fan, when I said, I was proud of West Ham, but they got their usual luck. Yeah. And he went, it's not luck if your goalkeeper's shit. And I went, well, our goalkeeper having a shocker is your good fortune. Yeah. So it is luck, really, to be honest.
You said the same thing about Madrid and Liverpool. Yeah. Like Madrid, those 3 years they won the Champions League, which should have been knocked out within the round of 16. And
you'll have to ride your luck as well, yeah. But it doesn't mean you don't get luck.
They weren't even close to the best team.
I mean, I felt for Fabianski because, he should have had the first one as well. Yeah. Should have had the first one, and then they come back and say Alisson should have saved Diop's header, but it was a much more difficult header to stop.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Closer. We're talking about you need luck. You can't fault Liverpool for. Not that I want to admit they've had so much luck, but like they've been incredible this season.
But they've capitalised on it, mate, and we've said it. They always found a way.
Right.
The Watford game for me, that defeat was coming since they played Watford at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Watford at home, they broke them down and broke through them 5 or 6 times and couldn't finish.
Yeah.
And I knew then that it was coming, and I think I'd said, I feel it's going to be one of the bottom teams that stops their run.
It could have been anyone.
Yeah, that stops their run.
Liverpool on this season aren't as good as they were last season, and the only reason they've ran away with it is because everyone else in the season is just doing that bad. Like Leicester were going for it a little bit, and I thought they were the best team in form, like around Christmas. But every other team has just been trying to scrape by. Like,
but if you look at it though, mate, 28 games, 26 wins. Yeah. It's you can't be scoffed at.
Yeah, but you can't go off stats. Like that's like the Invincibles. Like that wasn't their best year. That they weren't at their best.
No,
that Arsenal team.
You think they were better last season?
I think
100%. Yeah.
I think I just think that you just have to be the best team in the league. You don't have to be the best form of the team. You know what I mean. You don't have to be better than you were last year. You just have to be the best team this year, and that's that's what they've done.
But what my point was though, that even though teams have failed, they still haven't. They've still produced. One draw, one loss. In 28 games.
Yeah, but then you're also tying in like the luck with it.
Yeah, but I'm saying they've rode it and they've made the most of it, haven't they?
Yeah, fair enough. So. Yeah.
And I suppose when you're not challenged, when the gap is that big, it becomes a little bit easier. No pressure.
You get your wins,
you go out with freedom. You get into that groove because we've always said it. Winning is a habit. Like losing becomes a habit.
Yeah.
But that's the best habit to be. I had it with the 2 seasons at City, my last 2 seasons, where we got back-to-back promotions.
Yeah.
We weren't the second best team in the championship.
Mm.
We went up second. We went second. We just had a winning mentality from the season before. We just carried it over.
Yeah.
And you do get that belief. We had it at West Ham. I think it went 23 games, 23 unbeaten under Billy Bonds in 91, something like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't consecutive wins, but it was 23 unbeaten, I think. And you go out feeling invincible.
Right.
It's the right word to say, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about that momentum, you know. I mean, look at Leicester, how Leicester did it before they won the league. They came up, and then what did they finish?
I think they escaped relegation, didn't they?
Yeah.
And
it came from the bottom and
went off that.
Yeah.
Let's go Chelsea first.
In order, and we'll talk about Chelsea. Yeah.
I didn't see the game, so I just know when I said to you, men against boys or something, you went, no, it wasn't like that.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, I hate to be that person saying our best players weren't playing. You know, Willian, Conte.
That's the case every week, though. Willian's not playing.
Yeah, which is weird for me. And I mean, look what's happening. You know, I don't know if it's a dressing room thing. I don't know if it's personal. You know, but I mean, you have a season after Hazard. You're banned for transfer windows. You gotta like, I don't know if it's with Lampard or whatever, but you gotta swallow your pride and put your best player out because you're not getting the results.
He took Hazard's number, ready to take over as well. Now we don't know whether it's him or Lampard. We don't know who's the instigator of him not playing. Obviously, it's Lampard's decision. So
yeah, and we all know Williams Chelsea's best player. If
I agree with that. I wanted City to steal him ages ago.
Yeah,
I thought when there was unrest and he wasn't playing, and you could see in his face every time he gets taken off the field, he's not happy. I mean, he's not the type of person to go moaning about it, but
he's a workhorse as well, isn't he?
I think he's quality, mate. I really do. You know, the thing, what you know, Frank, I said earlier on that I'm happy for him to bring young English players in. Abrahams and Mount started like a house on fire, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't think Mount's got a goal in 19 games or
whatever
it is.
Yeah,
well, we talked about Abraham, didn't we? I don't believe he's a natural finisher. We were talking about
he got the most goals in the championship last season.
But the championship is a little bit different. But
I mean,
and he started great, but he got to 13 goals in how many games, and then he hasn't scored for what? I actually said to you, didn't I? Let's have that bet we had a couple of years ago with Diego Costa. When we said 100 quid, he wouldn't get 15 goals.
And
he scored them.
And I won that. I don't know if you paid me, but
no, I think he got 14.
Right. Oh, did he?
Yeah, he didn't.
He got injured the last couple of weeks of the season. Yeah,
I think we'll get back to the actual game, the Champions League game, because the topic I want to talk about. But I think Chelsea have done better than what people
100%.
Expected this season with the transfer ban. We were talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
You know, look at the players they've got. They're not a quality. I mean, they've got good young English players, but there's no one really. I mean, Willian's sensational when he's on the pitch, but I mean, for where they are, I think he's done well. And the real test for Lampard will be next season when he's able to make transfers. Will he make those right decisions? Will he bring in the right players? You know, or
well, he's shown he's not afraid to leave people out. And
right.
That's one thing that you need to succeed as a manager. You know,
the whole
world record fee for a goalkeeper, and he's got some gripe with him right now. And I mean, you know,
leaving him out.
I knew Frank when he was a kid at West Ham and that, and you know, I would like to see Chelsea.
Ballsy,
I'd like to see Chelsea do well. You know.
See, Jordan put it into perspective for me the other day, because I was the typical club fan, you know. I'm like, oh, Chelsea is shit. What are they doing? You know, like they're not even trying. But at the beginning of the season, I wrote them off. I was going, we don't have Hazard. We're getting Lampard, who I don't initially like. I don't think he's up. I don't think he's up for it. You know, I don't think we're gonna. I was like, we're not even gonna. I think 7th place, I would have been happy with. You know, and you put it into perspective that they've done so much better, and I'm sitting there slating them. You know, like
I mean, I also think, you know, if you think, this is gonna be a bad season for Chelsea, where did they finish under Mourinho? That was a bad season for Chelsea. Was it 10th or 12th? Mourinho's last season. Yeah. You know, so I mean, me thinking, it's gonna be bad. Like that's what I'm thinking. You know,
look, they're not coming back from 3-0 down, are they?
No,
they're not coming back.
I don't think so.
All right, I'm gonna.
They're not a Liverpool Barcelona.
Well, here's the thing: is no Alonso either, and Alonso's been on fire this past week since the red card, hasn't he?
Couple of goals,
I'm before the red card as well, but
2 goals at Bournemouth and a goal.
Yeah, like I said to you, they didn't get destroyed it was like Bayern don't like you see 3-0 Bayern against Chelsea away from home. You know, like you think, oh, Bayern are back to the dominant that they were in like early 2010 and all that, and it's not. They weren't that good. It was just Chelsea messing up. Chelsea had a few chances. Chelsea could have scored 3. You know,
right?
And it was just like Bayern on, like they're not on City's level, they're not on Madrid's level, they're not on Barca's level. I would say they're probably par with like PSG right now.
Okay, Wednesday, Man City at Madrid.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
What a result!
2-1 at the Bernabeu.
What about the lineup? What about the formation? What about the system?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was weird at first. You know, I mean, I thought Jesus was going to start up top, which I think everyone did. But he started sort of deep on the left side with De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva playing as two forwards, which was strange. But, I mean, clearly it worked, you know. Pep was trying to shut down Carvajal on the right-hand side. And obviously Jesus' work rate was good enough to sort of help Mendy defend that wing. And, you know, it worked.
And he ended up getting his goal as well.
Exactly. He was making runs from deep, wasn't he? So he wasn't on the last man where Ramos or Varane might have closed him down and sort of held him out, marked him out of the game. He was making runs from deep. And he, I mean, I know he scored a header, but he was dangerous, you know?
Well, my only thing is if you play Sergio, does the winning margin become bigger and more comfortable in the second leg?
Yeah, but I also think, do you compromise the system Pep successfully used, you know? I mean, he obviously knew what he was doing, overloading that City's left wing. Aguero wouldn't have done that. I mean, Aguero is, you know, he's a workhorse in his own right, but he's not going to track back on that left side. I think De Bruyne could have maybe done it, but then you're taking out your playmaker in the middle. You know,
yeah.
I think bring Sergio on in the 60th minute and widen the gap. But I mean, again, a 2-1 win over Real Madrid at the Bernabeu.
I mean, Mendy 100%. He doesn't need help covering Carvajal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I just think, what would you do? Is he going to change personnel? Is he going to change tactics in the second leg?
Does
he think that's what worked against a team like Real Madrid?
I think it's different stadium, different.
Yeah, I can't question him because obviously he gets.
Madrid don't have their captain.
Yeah.
We'll get to that because there was a couple of other talking points.
Yeah.
Obviously in the game, I've heard people say, was Sterling already on his way down when the contact was made?
Was
100%.
it a penalty?
I thought you meant, was he on his way down to Madrid when the game started?
I don't understand why he played him after all the controversy.
Yeah, well, look,
we touched on it.
But he does again. He gets him on there, and he ends up winning a penalty for them. Whether it was or it wasn't, look, I'm happy. You know, I can't condone falling down. But
no, I think if he would have ran like a normal person, he would have been fouled.
It would have been difficult for the ref not to give it.
Well, he's kicked the ball out.
I think.
You know.
Well, that's what happens. They make sure they get there first, and then they're already on the way down. And I understand, and it does go on. And I suppose players think, well, if they do it, why shouldn't I do it?
I mean,
but there's that petulance again from before, isn't it? From earlier on. So, you know, for me, the other talking point, and I think it was a bigger talking point, Jesus with Ramos.
Yeah.
Does he stay on his feet and get the third goal, which I would love to have seen him do? If that was Aguero, would Aguero stay on his feet and want to score that?
I think he would, yeah. I think he would, because we've seen Aguero go down before, but he's so hungry for goals. I think, you know, he would have had that instinct to just push through it, you know.
There you go. If it was a penalty, would you be saying the same thing that you just said about Sterling, you know?
Well, does Jesus think he's in the box then? He
obviously does.
He obviously does.
Yeah.
But look, Ramos tried to be cute. Yeah. In my eyes, he did put his hand on his shoulders.
So it's a contact sport. You know?
Well, it isn't anymore, is it? It isn't, because as soon as you feel that contact, you fall down. As soon as you feel the hand on your face, you go down with a head injury, which it's not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you just compare it to boxing and see how hard they get it and they don't fall down, it makes a mockery of the whole thing for me. But anything. Ramos' own fault for trying to be cute, because he tried to put his hand on his shoulder and get away with it.
Do you think there was some vengeance there of Jesus scoring a header? Not over him, they weren't right next to each other, but Ramos leapt for it.
But that was also the thing. He did put his hands on his back, but you don't push somebody and they fall backwards.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ramos tried to cheat first.
Of course he did. Yeah,
exactly.
Of course he did. So maybe it all evens out.
It's funny because I was saying in the beginning of the game, the camera went to Ramos, and I just had this weird feeling.
You said that, yeah.
I looked at Joe and I go, he's going to get sent off for some reason. He's going to do something.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be like malicious, like like kind of the Salah thing in the final.
when he's losing 2-1.
Exactly, but I thought he was in every right. You put that hand on your shoulder, you throw the player a little off balance. It's not actually a foul.
You know, there's a few moments too where I saw Ramos getting forward, really far forward, and Varane went forward and he took that shot with his left foot and Amy skied it. But that's another product of Pep not playing a traditional number 9. He's pulling the centre backs out. The centre backs feel comfortable making those forward runs.
Not marking anyone,
Exactly. And then I know the goals weren't exactly from those situations, but it would have applied pressure when City were on the counter attack, which you don't usually hear. But I'm sure Pep's thinking that as well.
Yeah, and the very good news is I'm going to be at the second leg
at the Etihad, right?
At the Etihad, yeah. We got tickets sorted out. Very good friend of mine who works at the club, Jez. He's pulled a rabbit out the hat for me.
Yeah. And
sorted things out. Yeah, can't wait.
So I will say, if you see Ian at the game at the Etihad next Tuesday, make sure you ask him questions. Tell him you've been listening to the podcast, and just leave the negative stuff for online.
City were the better team, to be fair. So Madrid didn't deserve to win 1-0.
No.
So one talking point we had was, does it sound better beating Madrid at the Bernabeu than the actual team Madrid fielded? Like beating Madrid at the Bernabeu sounds legendary, right? But if you look at the team Madrid played,
Hazard, Bale came on.
Benzema was on. That Valverde, I know he got man of the match against Barcelona at the weekend, and
they went and beat them though, didn't they?
Yeah, 2-0. Yeah. And then Piqué had another goal line clearance, and I swear that happened the last time they played as well. I think they both had one.
He's had quite a few of those.
Yeah,
it's weird. When Valdez was there, he was doing it all the time.
Yeah,
All right. Well, what about me and my group, Arsenal? What an embarrassment. Not just them.
Talking about teams for relegation.
But me as well. Because I recorded the game and I managed to see the first 90 minutes and the recording ran out.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to see what was supposedly the best 30 minutes of the game because 100%. Arsenal were garbage and Olympiacos weren't much better,
I will say you never were the best with technology, so just set the thing for half an hour after and it'll do it every time.
Well, I didn't expect it. They go to Greece and win 1-0. I thought it would be a formality.
Yeah.
And then I see the lineup again and V.A.Rseholes out there and my mate Granit Xhaka.
Yeah.
You know what? Somebody said today during the FA Cup game with Portsmouth, I know he didn't play, but Torreira started. Somebody said that they let their fullbacks attack and the two holding midfield players, Torreira and Xhaka, fill in for the fullbacks. But if you watch Granit Xhaka, the only time he receives the ball is when he goes to the left back position. Now, he's a central midfield player. He's supposed to get it in the centre of midfield and make things happen. But he drifts to the left back position because there's nobody there picking him up and he doesn't have to do anything with it.
Yeah.
What is the point of your left back bombing on? If your midfield player comes and fills that position, you're not getting an overload. You're not getting extra men anywhere because now your midfield player, he's got one less player to find. So for me, if you watch him play, and I don't want to sound like I'm digging him out every week. It is one of my pet peeves actually that he plays.
Yeah, if you do something wrong, you get called out for it. It's
not well, exactly. But notice now, whenever he receives the ball, he's in the left back position. He may make one or two crossfield passes, but that's about it.
I don't know.
It frightens me to think that Arteta and the man before him seeing a footballer in it,
especially since he played the same position.
Yeah, I don't know how he got Ozil out of that left back position though, because he did the same thing, drifted back there last season. He would fall back there and fall out of the game and go try and collect the ball, and he's meant to be one of the best players.
Maybe they've had an argument in the dressing room and Xhaka's won it.
It's funny he is bigger, isn't he?
Yeah, and he looks like he can fight.
He'd probably fight Ozil.
Yeah.
They were caught. They were almost rubbed at knife point. Oh no, it was Kolasinac, wasn't it? Not Kolasinac and Ozil, not Xhaka and Ozil.
I think Kolasinac went after the fella.
It was probably Xhaka.
Xhaka
locked himself in the car.
Tell him I'll take the left back.
To be fair, I think
Xhaka in a ski mask.
Yeah.
Do you think like people are praising these centre midfielders today because there's just an abundance of average centre midfielders who are getting praised, and back in the 90s and the late 80s there was tons and tons of midfielders, and that they were considered the best players in the world.
They're amazing, yeah.
And today, it's what every team lacks.
It's almost like they've turned that 2 centre mid position into like 4 positions. Now you need 3 or 4 people doing the same job that 2 people used to do when you had 2 centre mids, you know.
And Makelele revolutionised it, and it's like they've gone backwards since then.
Yeah.
He was a tackler who could play, and he created his own position, and now it's like they've gone backwards.
Kante did at Leicester.
Kante as well.
Really well,
See, yeah.
I'm a big fan. I mean, I think he's going to be good in the future. I like Declan Rice for West Ham.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant, mate.
Yeah,
I think
he's...
Have you seen him when he bombs forward as well?
Yeah, exactly.
When he does venture forward, he's
tough.
He's dangerous.
He's an English tough, isn't he? What English tough used to be. Not
used to be,
and Phil Foden in front of him as well in the future. I think it's a strong England setup.
Okay, talking of West Ham, let's go to Saturday's games. Great win, Southampton.
Yeah.
Followed on from the Liverpool performance, and obviously not the result, but to go and beat Southampton. And what a game to watch. I watched it on Gold while I was recording the Bournemouth-Chelsea game, actually, and I watched that afterwards. But it was end-to-end. I mean, Southampton have transformed, like we said last week, as a team.
Yeah.
And Moyes has turned it round to go more of attacking style. Haller, talking of Fornals earlier, getting the goal at Anfield, and then he gets 2 assists, one for Haller's goal and then Antonio at the end.
Yeah.
Haller's goal where he's jumped above the keeper and
just headed it.
And beat him in the air.
Even
and not only that, the finish on the half volley from the tightest of angles.
I love that, yeah.
Oh, it's superb. Yeah. I mean, the performance in general.
Yeah.
You know, everything. The work rate of Bowen and his finish, the little dink, if you remember, at Anfield.
Yeah.
He had that chance that could have made it 3-3 where he went to dink it over the keeper again.
Yeah.
You know, but and he worked his socks off. You know, if Felipe Anderson could take a little leaf out of his book with the ability that he has, I think now when I look at certain teams now that probably struggled in the early part of the season, I look to their benches now. I look to Everton and seeing how strong their bench was. It tells you something is going right. Out on the field if your bench is fairly strong also, you know.
Yeah.
So West Ham's bench, what I looked at, I'm thinking Lanzini, you know, Felipe Anderson, you know, players of that calibre.
Masuaku.
Yeah, Masuaku. Yeah. I mean, he's hit and miss for me, you know. He's got great ability, but his positional sense is a little bit off for me. Yeah. And sort of causes problems a little bit. But
I think Mikel Antonio is a great player as well. You know, he got 1 goal and assist, and
he's such an outlet for them.
Yeah,
you know, he's got that pace that you can get him behind him. You know, will he stay fit between now and the end of the season? You know, prone to a little bit pulling something here and there, but you know, it looked to me that Haller was confident. Mm-hmm. You know, Bowen came in and did probably an unorthodox job for him.
Right.
Which, you know, you got Fornals a right-footed on the left side, you got Bowen who's a left-footed on the right side, but it seemed to work because when you've got that striker's instinct, which he does, you know, he's getting in there and sort of making it a 3 up there, which makes it difficult. You know, all credit to Southampton. I'll tell you what I will say about Southampton as well. Somebody should go and take James Ward-Prowse.
Yeah,
I said that years ago.
Yeah, and West Ham. I mean, would he swap Southampton for West Ham? I don't know. Would there be a bigger club? He's transformed from what was a good midfield player to an even better right back. You know, his energy sort of drives that team on. His you know, his quality with his set pieces is always an asset as well.
Kicks,
but it wasn't just that; it was his overall game. His defensive positioning was perfect. You know, better than most natural right backs that I've seen.
Just a smart player, whatever position he plays in.
Yeah, but so happy. And I will mention. Well, I'll come to my trip after because it's got a lot of West Ham involved. But the Bournemouth-Chelsea game, mate, you know, big game for me. You know, talking survival really with 2 of my teams, West Ham and Bournemouth. And before the game, I would have settled for a point. But the way the game went, Bournemouth started well. Billing had maybe 2 clear chances to put them up.
First
15 minutes, I think. And then Chelsea took charge. For me, they started spreading the ball about.
Chelsea deserved the game.
Creating chances. And then second half, they've gone the goal down. Second half, they come out pressing higher up. They won the ball in Chelsea's half. They end up going 2-1 up. And then I don't know whether it was tactical with Eddie, but they dropped off again. I don't know if it was tactics or fatigue.
Yeah.
For the last 15 minutes, Chelsea just pounded them. And a 2-1 up, you can't sit against a team like that.
Invite pressure.
For 15 minutes without something happening.
Yeah.
And then ended up being Alonso again.
Yeah.
Getting a second goal.
Yeah, almost getting a hat-trick, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you almost got a third one as well.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
I think it's tactically from Lampard is one of the worst performances from a manager. Like,
you do?
Yeah, Giroud's one of the. If you're talking about against Bournemouth, Giroud, right. I'd stick him in. Never mind what he's done the last couple of weeks, which he's done superb. Bournemouth is a great team for Giroud to play against, but it wasn't until they took him off that they started putting balls in the box.
Yeah.
Well, because you can't play Giroud without wide men. You can't play
exactly,
a 4-2-3-1.
But they've got an abundance of wide men, haven't they?
Yeah, but they weren't playing that way.
They play wide. They've got attacking fullbacks. Yeah. They've got fullbacks in.
They only started playing wide when Willian came on. Giroud went off.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like he got it backwards. You know.
Yeah,
you should play.
I would start Giroud in front of Abrahams. I would start him in front of Batshuayi.
Yeah.
Any day of the week.
If I play Giroud, I'd play Batshuayi along with him.
You would?
Yeah.
No Abrahams if he's fit.
I think Abraham's like a mix between both the players.
I'd play Giroud by himself. He needs to be in the middle by himself.
I don't think Chelsea are good enough
space.
Just to have Giroud up there. You know,
I did.
Go on.
No, you go.
No, I love him tactically, but he's, I think he does need that little extra help. Another fast pace, or at least an attacking midfield.
Someone to make the runs in behind, so he can hold it up.
Because he's going to win everything.
He's strong, isn't he? He's technically gifted too.
He's a proper old-fashioned centre.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He plays like a little man, but as
sometimes he's got a better touch than people give him credit for.
Always got. Alonso's goal, he almost got an amazing goal, the one that hit the bar.
Yeah.
For the first goal, he's almost backheeled it into the.
Yeah. I will say too, we do our predictions before, and I did have 2-2. And I think you had 1-1 or 2-1.
I had 2-1 Bournemouth.
2-1 Bournemouth.
Yeah,
I was there for a few minutes.
Yeah, I had 2-2 Chelsea, and Connor said, "What are you thinking?" Saying Chelsea are going to concede. So just calling you out here on.
No, fair enough.
I seen a text.
And I'll if I could go back in time, I would have said the same exact thing.
Little confident.
Yeah. Right. No, I'm fine with it. I mean,
it seems to me like they've hung in that fourth position, mate, for way too long now.
It's been like that the last 2-3 years.
And now you've got pressure from maybe 4 teams, I think now.
Yeah, but it's barely any pressure, is it?
No,
it's like Spurs losing to Wolves. I mean, where is the pressure? No, I know. I like Wolves. Yeah, Wolves are decent.
And Sheffield United if they win their game in hand.
Yeah.
Wolves are one of those teams that are going to apply the pressure as well. That game was...
Sheffield United win their game in hand, they go above Man United into 5th.
I'm not worried about them.
Yeah.
I think they're a decent team.
Sheffield United.
Oh, no, I like them.
I think they're consistent.
I'm so glad and I'm so happy for what they're doing. But they're going to drop off, It's only a matter of time now.
They've been doing it...
I'm not saying they're going to go below 8th, but I don't think they'll be Champions League, Europa League.
No?
No.
Okay.
It'll be nice
Good
to see.
Statement. All right, Sunday. We've touched on the Everton game with the VAR, but clanger of the week.
Yeah.
I think. I know Fabianski had a bad one Monday
Yeah.
through his legs at Liverpool. But Ed De Gea. Wow. What's he thinking?
Yeah.
Calvert-Lewin didn't even sprint to close him down. He had so much time.
Yeah.
And then he smashes one against him like that. I must admit, he did sort of redeem himself later on. A little bit like Jordan Pickford. I thought he should have saved Fernandes. Is it Fernandes? Bruno Fernandes?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
He should have saved it.
Oh, yeah, the shot.
And then redeemed himself late on. I mean, I suppose that's a thing for goalkeepers. People will say the ball dipped. It was rolling forward. It was topspin. But you shouldn't be beaten from that in front of the England manager as well, I think.
Yeah.
You found something today, Con, didn't you, that Roy Keane had said?
Yeah, and like I said, I didn't want to bring this up just because I don't want to be like quoting people or maybe misquoting people, whether they meant it this way, meant it that way. But I mean, Roy Keane says it like it is. I know if you paint a picture of United's players, he's right there in the middle,
Mate, he was no nonsense on the field.
Exactly.
And he's no nonsense off the field, and that's why I like him.
Yeah, I know. I love him. And he's one of the only people who says it like it is, especially in that limelight that he is in right. Well, not limelight, the
I just like how he scares Gary Neville.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah, and you can see he scares everyone, rightfully so.
Well, the thing is too, Roy Keane's not really that biased, is he? I mean, he's obviously
exactly,
or he'll admit when he is, because I saw something with him and Jamie Carragher picking the best 11 out of United's treble winners versus Liverpool's team today.
Right.
And Keane had, I think he only had 2 Liverpool players in there, and then he ended up taking them out.
So he's not biased.
Well, he says that's what I'm saying. He'll say when he's biased, but I'm saying his opinions. He's not afraid to slate the United players, Paul Pogba and all them. So I don't mind it. Where you won't see Jamie Carragher slating any of the Liverpool players.
Never. He'll talk about some 16-year-old Liverpool player that's better than any City player or something like that.
So
all right, so the City Cup, which we've renamed it.
Yeah.
The City Cup. What is it? 4 in the last 6 years?
Yeah.
3 consecutive. It's amazing, really, isn't it? They won a domestic treble last year. They're not going to do it this year, but if you can switch the league for the Champions League.
Yeah. It's even better.
It's still no mean feat.
Yeah, but you talk about silverware, and there's Liverpool who don't even care about domestic cups, apparently. They would rather have that Super, what was it called?
Yeah, the Club Super Cup or whatever.
Yeah, we played 2 games to win it.
Yeah,
but the game itself.
Yeah,
Villa sort of held it on.
Yeah, they looked decent. I mean, it wasn't they weren't pushed over. It was I thought they put up a fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a little bit more comfortable than the scoreline suggested.
Yeah.
It wasn't a scare when they scored.
Right.
Great ball in as well, by the way.
It was good. Yeah.
Great ball in, great header.
Yeah,
there's no getting away from that.
Unfortunate slip by John Stones, wasn't it?
What was that? Jelly legs?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
it wasn't even a slip. It was...
No, it was just collapse.
A tumble, yeah.
A sniper.
I mean, Rodri's header too, that shouldn't have... I mean, I'm glad, but it shouldn't have been a corner, should it? It came off Gundogan. Gundogan's kicked it against the defender and it's come off him.
At the same time, a corner isn't a goal, is it?
No, I know. Yeah, I mean, they've done well. It was the most straightforward corner header goal you'll ever see.
Look, if it wasn't that goal...
They didn't mark at all, did they?
No, they didn't.
If it wasn't that goal, it would have been another goal.
Yeah.
They'd have stepped up again, I'm sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
Foden, talk about him, mate.
Yeah.
Silky.
Incredible, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've had conversations with people and they're telling me I'm biased, which I get, which we've had conversations about a year ago. Yeah, but he's going to prove me right whether I'm biased or not, because look at him. Look at his skill. He was playing on the right wing. He's not a right winger.
How did I talk about Grealish for the England squad and don't mention Foden?
Or Mason Mount.
Yeah, and don't mention Foden.
It's criminal.
I can't have it.
Mount's probably England's best prospect right now.
Foden.
Who did I say?
Mount.
Sorry, yeah.
But
no, stand by that.
Foden's breaking into a Man City team.
Exactly, and which none of these players would.
Would be anywhere near. Grealish drools over Kevin De Bruyne. He says he's his favourite player. And Foden's there alongside. Foden tweeted the other day. He said, in 2012, I was watching Aguero score the goal against QPR for the first league title, and then there's a picture of him with his arm around Aguero yesterday, and it's just incredible stuff for a 19-year-old.
Yeah, just going back to John Stones.
Yeah,
I love him.
I do as well. And I like the relationship he's got with Pep. And I watched him after the game.
Yeah,
and Pep wouldn't stop hugging him.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows he's made of Rick.
Right. Yeah.
I remember when he first came, Pep, and he defended him to the hilt.
He did.
He went, you know what? He's got more balls than anybody.
Anyone, yeah.
That I've seen, because he wants to play, and Pep wants his players to play. I mean, it looked like he was in a pre-season game and just hadn't found his legs yet, because you get to that point in pre-season 5-6 days in.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say 5-6 pints in.
Well, mate, trust me. Well, especially later on when I got a little bit older, I wasn't drinking during pre-season, mate.
Yeah.
It's you can't even touch your leg with your finger without the pain.
Yeah.
I'd come home and I'd lay on the couch. I wouldn't be able to move for hours. It was having to break through, get up the next day, being so sore, and knowing you got them long distance runs to do.
Yeah.
And you were just going to suffer. But that's what he looked like. He looked like the 5th day into pre-season where you're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
And you've got as we used to call it, the jelly legs.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in and out of the team, hasn't he? I mean,
he's had no continuity fitness-wise, really, with that.
He had a window to shine this season too, I think, and I'm not writing him off because I think he's a great player. I love how he plays out from the back. I've seen him in the defensive midfield role as well a few times last season, and I think he's a great player. But 25 years old now, like.
Yeah, there's got to come a time where you've got to establish yourself.
And like I said, with Laporte out this season, I think that it wasn't the only chance he's going to get to really shine, but it was definitely a big chance for him,
I think it's going to be a real hit to football, to anyone who's just a football fan in general, if this whole City team doesn't get an actual proper chance of playing with each other. If you talk about Mendy, he's still coming back. He's not 100%. Laporte is out.
Yeah.
John Stones is not 100%. Aguero's not always playing. Sane's out. This could be potentially one of the best teams ever, especially under one of the best coaches ever. And it could be like
David Silva's last season.
David Silva, it could if these
It seems strange to say when they're 22 points behind Liverpool, don't it?
Yeah,
I think
I agree with you though. But it seems strange to say it, Well, it'll be 19 if it...
We were talking about Liverpool the other day about how they rely so much on the... I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but they rely so much on the starting 11, and Man City just take what they can get, and they deal with it.
I think it's a completely different season if Laporte doesn't go out injured. I think he provides so much on the left side of that centre. Left side of centre back.
Yeah,
especially with Zinchenko, he's been great, but he's not a left back, is he? Yeah. He's a midfielder. So Laporte being out really has really hurt City because we've been scoring the goals, but we've been letting them in.
Yeah.
All
right.
Yeah.
Well,
do you want to finish off with a look at the bottom of the table then?
Let's look. We had predictions last week, didn't we? Who we felt would be in the bottom three, and I think I did say Pearson's got a fighting spirit with Watford, and they go and turn over the champions elect 3-0. Not just turn them over; they're thoroughly deserved.
Yeah, rightfully so. Yeah.
Liverpool looked lackluster at best.
Yeah,
which I haven't seen before. We can talk about. On their run, what luck they've got, but they are a fantastic 11, to be fair, and thoroughly deserved their run away. What is going to be a league win, but Watford for me, like we touched on earlier, I felt that loss was coming. Watford at Anfield, it did come. It's. I'll be honest, I didn't want them to be unbeaten all season.
No.
Let them take the league, that's fine.
I mean,
I'm happy with that. A lot of Liverpool friends, a lot of Liverpool fans as friends, and I'm okay with it. It's somewhere I used to go and watch as a kid, so there is a little bit of an affinity there. Bear in mind, it was always going to watch Arsenal there.
Yeah.
As an Arsenal fan, but I don't mind that for the people of Liverpool. I really don't.
I mean, it's worked out to not breaking City's record as well.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who do we think? I think Geordie, which we're not happy with. You did sneak Bournemouth into your bottom three.
I did, yeah.
And they've slipped in there.
Yeah.
So as it stands now, you've got the
crystal ball.
Three, not that you wanted, we hope.
Right.
The three that you thought.
Just thought, yeah. I mean, I thought again they played well for moments against Chelsea, but they were battered for most of the game. But they had some good spells. Bournemouth did, like some, but looking at, we've done some. Connor's done some research for us today. We're looking at who has the hardest run-in of games
of the 6 teams that we think are involved. Now, see what it is. I think Newcastle could slip in as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's more, which is good for me. The fact that Palace went and beat Brighton, Newcastle only drew. It brings Newcastle into the fight, I think.
Right.
You're going all the way up to the 14th spot there,
Well, I think, what are they on? 31 points, I think Newcastle is it now?
Yeah, 30 or 31.
30 or 31 maybe. That drags them right in it, mate.
Yeah, but I mean, like we were saying, who has the hardest run? Norwich have the easiest. I mean,
so how will we first of all explain how we gauge in this? So what are you saying the hardest run in?
Well, I mean, we're talking about who has to play the let's say the top 5 teams in the Premier League. I mean, it's all opinionated. You could say the hardest games are actually the bottom teams, because they're fighting relegation. But if you're thinking about who's actually, you're not going to go out and say, "Oh, Norwich will beat City," that'll be a harder game than it will against Brighton. But
Who in your mind as the toughest run in there, mate?
Me?
Brighton, yeah, Con?
Yeah, Brighton. But they have, they're 15th. They have the most points, so they could, scrape it. Like they have 6 of like tough matches. That
six of the top 5.
Yeah. No, I had to throw in Arsenal. I feel like they had to, really give them that. So, I think, we're talking predictions. I think Norwich, Villa, Brighton.
I hope it doesn't come to this, but when I looked at the games that's left, I hope we'll be safe way by then. But I can't stop staring at it. West Ham Villa, last game of the season. What if it came down? How big would that game be?
I think it'll already be decided by then.
It will. Yeah, I honestly do as well.
But that, it'll be
it looks intriguing, though, mate.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I think Moyes. We were looking at the bench before against Southampton. I think Moyes has the tools to keep him up.
Yeah, I do.
The players he's got.
And he's shown that he has the balls to do it as well.
Well, yeah. When he changed the attitude of, when he went to Anfield and did what we asked and what we wanted him to do. I do think they're too good to go down. I hope Bournemouth find a little run.
They've got a tough run in as well, though.
What does their run in look like?
They got Liverpool, Wolves, United, Spurs, Leicester, City,
Everton.
If you want to drag them in there,
It looks to me like they don't have anyone who's going to be down there in the fight.
No, they don't.
They don't.
Newcastle, Newcastle who are 14th.
Well, maybe that's the only real one that you could say.
But like we said earlier,
it's going to be a 6-pointer for them,
No team has been really performing this season, so
anyone can beat anyone.
Yeah, look what Bournemouth did to Chelsea,
Well, look at Norwich just getting a win, the bottom 3 all winning.
Yeah, rightfully so as well. Against Leicester,
How do you feel if you're Villa? You've just lost the final while you're away from the mix.
Yeah.
Everybody below you wins.
Yeah.
It was a right kick in the groin, wasn't it?
Yeah, like I said last episode, I want Villa to go down.
Well, there's some other final games, isn't there? I think, what have you got? Watford play Arsenal last game of the season.
Yeah.
Norwich plays City last game of the season.
Burnley, Brighton.
Bournemouth have Everton.
Yeah, Burnley, Brighton at Burnley, I think is a 0-0 written all over it. I said that before when we were writing this down. I just don't.
Well, it just depends what teams need, what points they need, because I could see Brighton's manager going for it.
Five games from now, this could be completely.
It could be. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but well, look, I've got a trip coming up, so this Friday I fly back home, so I'll be doing a show by phone on the Monday, so we'll call you up. I'm going to be at the Emirates. I'm going to watch West Ham beat Arsenal. And I've said it there. I didn't want to say it, but I don't want to jinx them. Yeah. But I'm going to be cheering them on at the West Ham end. The following week's going to be a little bit daunting. I'm trying to fit in 4 games in 4 days. I've got Bournemouth at the Vitality on the Saturday. All my 4 Premier League teams, actually. I've got West Ham at the London Stadium on the Sunday against Wolves. Bournemouth Palace Saturday. West Ham Wolves Sunday. Going to Merseyside derby, Everton Liverpool on the Monday, and then Man City Real Madrid on a Tuesday.
Running.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of travelling.
Yeah,
I'm going to fit in.
Candy shop, yeah.
Oh, brilliant though, isn't it? And depending on how the FA Cup games go on Wednesday with Tottenham and Man City, the fixture list is thrown up. Chelsea, I think it's Tottenham West Ham on the Friday at Tottenham's ground, and then Chelsea Man City on the Saturday. I'm not wanting City to get knocked out, because I'd rather not go to Chelsea. I'd rather stay in the FA Cup. But I was going to try and fit them games in also, which would have been 7 games, 7 different stadiums. So it's going to be some travelling and a lot of footy.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Yeah,
we'll come with you next time.
We'll do that. Like I said, we'll sort out the fixture list beginning of next season, and we'll arrange the trip, book it properly, and we'll get over there.
Definitely. So if anyone sees you, make sure to mention the podcast if they like it. I know you had a career before this podcast that they probably want to talk to you about as well. But if you want to hear anything on the podcast, if you got any questions, anything at all, we'll make sure to say hello to him.
Okay, I'll be there in the West Ham end.
I was just gonna ask what game you're most looking forward to.
Wow. I think it might be the Real Madrid one.
Yeah,
City, Real Madrid.
Yeah, okay.
Look, I hope by that time, by the Tuesday, I'm really happy with what's gone on over the weekend.
And you feeling confident going into the game?
I with all of them. I mean, look, before Saturday's game, Liverpool probably could have clinched the title at Goodison. I wouldn't have wanted to see that. I think, depending on what happens this weekend, I think they play Bournemouth at home, don't they? What a tough one for Bournemouth. To Chelsea then go to Anfield. Hopefully Bournemouth win against Palace, West Ham win against Wolves. It'll be a decent weekend. Everton aren't in the same sort of trouble, so I'm more rooting for Bournemouth and West Ham, but I think the one I'm looking forward to most will be the City Real Madrid game. I think if you remember a couple of years ago we went to the Dortmund game.
Yeah.
And got stuck in traffic and ended up missing most of the first half.
Yeah.
Balotelli scoring that penalty in the last
Yeah. I think this time I'm just going to jump the train and make sure I get there.
I think that's the right move. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening this week. This has been 5 Pints In with Ian Bishop, and we'll talk to you next week.
Take care. Cheers.